In this episode of Son of Melbourne Streetscape, I'll be talking to Jordy, the magician, on what is it like to bask and perform as a magician on the streets of Melbourne, and the challenges that we face.
Hey guys, this is here with Son of Melbourne Streetscape. I'm your host here, and I'm with Jordy, the magician, and you probably come across him everywhere in Melbourne City streets. Jordy, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I started performing magic in about 2012 in New South Wales, and then I moved on from there and chose to come to Melbourne a year later, so late 2012, about 2013 time, and been performing here for a couple of years till about now. So it's been 6 years since I've been performing, and I've travelled around the world.
So, why did you choose magic?
Well, I've always liked magic from when I was younger, and the reason I chose to perform it to other people is because when you do magic, you sort of get that little glimpse in someone's eyes where it brings out like the child in them, and it's just something I've wanted to do.
In your eyes, what are you doing this for? Like, other than just feeling good about giving something, like, is it more than just money or donations, or is there a story behind it, or like?
Well, to be honest, if it was like, it's definitely not just about money, because if you're doing it just for money, then you should really do something else, because it will show that you're there only for money, and then you're not really caring about performing for other people. I honestly do it because I love performing and showing other people something. Take out a card, anyone you like. Hey, reach in, take one out, have a look at it. Perfect. I'm going to grab that one for you. You have to place that one back inside the deck. And the idea is we're meant to find it.
Okay.
Now, the way we can do this is a bit interesting. I want you to hold your hand out flat, please, if that's okay. And also, put your left hand on top, so that way you can cover it completely. Now watch close. Grab half the cards up.
Half?
Up. Now would that be good if that there, the one that you cut to, was yours?
Yeah.
Would that be good?
Yep.
Is that yours?
Nah.
No, what was yours?
A.
Ace. You sure?
Yeah. A of love.
Would that be good if the card was in my pocket? No, my pocket. You think so, no, if that was here, would that be a good trick? If I could pull out a card, that was it. But it's not. It would be good though. Thing is, it's inside your pocket.
Mine?
Yeah, check the jacket.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's mine. Freaking. When it comes to attracting crowds, how do you do it? And how does it differ with like musicians and magicians?
First of all, there's three types of performers. There's buskers, street performers, and then there's circle acts. Now, they can be a mix of all three, but typically buskers is when you're on the street and then you're collecting money and people throw something as they walk, so it's something that doesn't break their stride. Street performance is when you're required for someone to stop. And once they've stopped, and then you can collect money at the end of it. And a circle act is something that requires a massive amount of space and typically includes elements of danger or fire.
Okay, when it comes to the regulations and policies that the council made for buskers around the CBD and stuff, how does it impact you as an artist?
Well, a lot of the regulations are actually, I'm happy with a lot of the regulations they have. Because I'm not personally affected by them, because with what I do, I've had no negativity from it. There are some people who are affected. One of my friends is a dog trainer, and he trains with his dogs, and a way that he's been able to make money, he doesn't really care about the money, but he brings his dogs out who love to perform like I do, and they've now made it not allowed to perform with animals in your show.
Really?
I believe it's like with animal cruelty thing, but they're treated very, very well, and they actually would love to perform by itself anyway, and they feel bad when they're just walking at home.
Tell me your experience in going through the applications process.
I have 4 different permits at the moment in Melbourne. First one is called General Area, which basically means you can have anywhere in Melbourne, almost. And then there's Circle Act, Dangerous Goods, which is when you do those massive shows with dangerous elements like fire or whips or something like that. I have both of those. And the next one I have is here, this is Melbourne Central, and I've got a permit for Melbourne Central, which requires you to go through an audition, and then they see if they feel like you're good enough to perform in here and also on the right style of performance. And the same applies to Bourke Street Mall. You have to go through an audition process. So you stand there, 5 judges, and you perform. And if they think that you're good, they write notes down, and then they combine them all together, and then the council head of coordination chooses yes or no, depending on what everyone else has said. And I'm also the first and only musician to get through that process on Bourke Street.
Do do you have any best or the worst memories in your experience basking or performing as a magician?
Probably my best memory was recently. Actually, both of them are fairly recently. My best memory was when a gentleman asked me to help propose to his then girlfriend. And then I did a magic show that she had no idea was there. And then I pulled out a ring box outside of a pineapple. That was my favorite. It was just exciting and different. The worst thing that has ever happened is when I was on Burke Street when the man drove down the Burke Street hitting a few people. That was the worst thing there. We live in a beautiful world, and if we are constantly on the fear of something negative happening, then we can't enjoy the time we have now.
Well, thanks Jordy for sharing with me.
That's all right,
I
mate.
really appreciate that.
Don't worry about it.
Thanks guys, that's it from Sound of Melbourne Streetscape. This is Jordy, I'm Jer. Yeah.